Hey, good morning. Today's another one of our first fives. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like life is really busy. In fact, I find it so busy, I just find myself jumping from one thing to the other. And then there'll be a day when I have minimal to nothing planned or even nothing planned. And someone will call and I'll be like, of course I can do that. And then I go do it. And then you know what happens the next day? That I should have rested a little bit is I'm tired. Now, I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial. The truth is, we're going to look at this text from Luke chapter 6, in which Jesus talks about Sabbath. Sabbath is not bad. The problem is, Sabbath can be this legalistic thing that can become bad. And so I'm just going to read this text, and we'll talk about what Sabbath is and what Sabbath isn't. Luke 6. One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain fields, and his disciples began to pick some heads of grain, rub them in their hands, and eat the kernels. Some of the Pharisees asked, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" Jesus answered them, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and taking the consecrated bread, he ate what is lawful only for priests to eat, and he also gave some to his companions." Then Jesus said to them, "The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." On another Sabbath, he went into the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there whose right hand was shriveled. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law were looking for a reason to accuse Jesus, so they watched him closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. But Jesus knew what they were thinking and said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Get up and stand in front of everyone." So he got up and stood there. Jesus said to them, "I ask you, which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it?" He looked around at them all, and then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He did so, and his hand was completely restored. But they were furious and began to discuss with one another what they might do to Jesus. Now, I want to talk about what Sabbath is, this idea of just rest. It's a day of rest. We see in the beginning of creation that for 6 days God works, and on the seventh day, he rested. See, you and I are not created to work 7 days. Now, we can get really legalistic and go, what is work and what isn't work? Right? So is it work if I cut the grass? Well, does it feel like work to you? Or do you enjoy it? Does it give you life or does it take life away? Does it fill you up or does it wear you out? Well, here's the thing. That's not Jesus' point. It's not really God's desire for Sabbath either. We get so legalistic about it. In fact, I love when I hear people say this. Well, the Sunday is Sabbath. No, that's not even close to biblical, by the way. Sunday is called the Lord's Day, but sometimes they even worked on the Lord's Day. Saturday was Sabbath. Sunday was the first day of the week. And so we sometimes have taken these kind of Old Testament and New Testament, we've kind of combined them into, I don't know what you want to call it, our Testament. I'm trying to be generous here, right? It's not that the day matters. And sometimes we grow up and we say, well, you can't do that on Sunday because it's the Sabbath. Well, no, if you're going to be legalistic in that way, then let's be really legalistic and say, no, the Sabbath is Saturday. But see, then we miss Jesus' point. His point is, it's not the day that matters so much. Because if there's a good thing I can do on this day, I should do it. If I can take care of someone on this day, I should do it. If I can do this, I should do it. Because that should be life-giving for me. If I need to do a little something so I can eat, that's okay. But here's the challenge for us. Find a day of rest. Find a time of rest. It may be that Sunday is your Sabbath. And it may be that Saturday is your Sabbath. It could be Tuesday is your Sabbath. The goal is not the day of the week. The goal is to recognize that we are created to work, but we're also created for rest and enjoyment and fellowship and love and conversation and friendship. And the Sabbath is a day filled with all the goodness that God has offered us. It may be a day for extra dessert. You might have to make up for that on another day with a little extra workout, but that's not the point either, right? The point is to enjoy the goodness of God and to rest in his presence and to rest in the presence of others. That is what Sabbath is. It isn't a day of rules, things to avoid. It's to ask the question, what gives me life? What increases my joy? What is worship to God? And those things I want to invest in or help others in investment of that. And so my invitation for you is to enjoy the Sabbath. Just don't be real caught up on what day of the week it is. It may be for you that Sunday is your Sabbath. Honestly, because I pastor a church, Sunday is not Sabbath for me. Although I do look forward to a Sunday afternoon nap, and I'm kind of a bummed out dude when it doesn't happen. But Sunday is not my Sabbath. I try either for Friday or Saturday to be my Sabbath. Why? Because I know if I don't rest too, that I don't have anything to give on Sunday when I want to serve the Lord and the way He has gifted me. And what about you? When do you find your rest? When do you rest in the presence and the goodness of God? When do you find that people fill you up and not drain you? And so here's my encouragement for you. Find a way for you to participate in Sabbath, but then don't make it this legalistic, ritualistic thing that the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the teachers of the law had made it to them. Don't let it be something where you're keeping score. Let it be something where you're resting in the goodness and the presence of God. And so I'm guessing for some of you, today may not be your Sabbath. But if it is, rest in God's goodness. Find things that give you life, that don't take it away. And so here's the good news for us. Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath. Jesus is the one who's come to give us hope and rest, and we can rest in Him. And so the words in Matthew, my yoke is easy and my burden is light, is for us as well. And so may your day be filled with God's grace and His peace and His love. We'll catch you next time.